Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time, and the response from the Democrats to the Republican stimulus bill, the skinny bill, the targeted bill, and to Mark Meadows' discussion on Fox Business earlier this morning is already in, even before the skinny bill has been voted on in the floor of the Senate. And based on the response from the Democrats, it looks like the skinny bill is going to be a complete waste of time. Now, why do I say this and why is all of this important? I'll just jump right into that in the video. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda. Thank you so much for watching our video. Thank you so much for making our channel one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube in the world of politics, personal finance, stimulus news, and unemployment benefits. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please consider clicking like, consider subscribing, consider enabling notifications so you get instant updates going forward, and also share this video with friends and family. Now, speaking of family, there's a stat that I came across that I thought was very, very interesting, and you'll see this on your screen right now. This is a tweet from CNN that says 52% of American young adults are living with their parents. This is the highest rate since the Great Depression, according to a Pew Research Center poll. So a large number of young American adults are now staying with their parents, largely due to economic difficulties. I will provide you with a link to this article in the description section below, but boy, is that interesting. Speaking of interesting, this is a brand new tweet from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. This is in response to all the moves that the Senate Majority Leader and all the moves that the Republicans are making this week. They will pass a bill on the floor of the Senate this week, but again, unless it's debated on and voted on by the House, it's not going to become law. So this is largely a symbolic gesture. And the reason I say that is if you read the tweet from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she says, Leader McConnell is finally realizing the damage caused by his one-sided pause to America's pandemic response. Yet a quick glance at his emaciated bill, by the way, Senator Chuck Schumer also used the word emaciated, reveals it is designed to allow vulnerable GOP senators to check the box while failing to put families first. So this is essentially House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, if you want to call it, calling out Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell about the moves they're making and dismissing it as largely a political stunt. Because remember, there are 35 seats up for re-election, 35 senators up for re-election in the November election. And what she's saying is, hey, this is you guys making a move so that those senators can say, hey, we passed stimulus bill. And it's the Democrats that said no. Now, remember, in my channel earlier today, I've covered the position from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. I provided you his statement in detail. I also analyzed an interview from the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. So when I cover Republicans, everyone says I'm a Republican. When I cover Democrats, everyone says I'm a Democrat. That doesn't matter to me. What matters is I will always cover both sides. And you, my viewer, my subscriber, I believe you are intelligent enough and you're insightful enough to come to your own conclusions about this. Now, here's what Jake Sherman said from Politico. I'll put his tweet up on the screen for you. Speaker Pelosi took another shot at White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, and she said she would prefer to deal with Steven Mnuchin, with whom she has already cut deals. Now, there have been reports of Chuck Schumer telling Steven Mnuchin, you're supposed to be a good influence on Mark Meadows, and Mark Meadows is not supposed to be a bad influence on you. So it's very clear that the Democrats like dealing with Steven Mnuchin, the US Labor Secretary, and they don't want to deal with Mark Meadows. So that is the position from the Democrats, and that's no secret. If you've been watching the news, that is indeed what's been happening. Now, the reason Jake Sherman said this is he was following up to this tweet on your screen from Jake Fitzpatrick, who's a Bloomberg reporter who's covering Congress. And Jake Fitzpatrick said that David Weston, another Bloomberg anchor and reporter, he asked House Speaker Pelosi if she's negotiating, how negotiations are going on the stimulus. And she said, they're certainly not negotiating with Mark Meadows. You'll see the tweet on your screen. And she said that Republicans still have a lot of negotiating to do among themselves. So it's clear that House Speaker Pelosi is standing firm with her position. Speaking of her position, on your screen, you'll see the official position from the Democrats. It reads, in May, while the American people and small businesses were crying out for help in dealing with the pandemic and recession, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell dismissed their needs, saying that Senate Republicans would take a pause and wait and see. Now, after months of inaction, Republicans are finally realizing the damage their pause has done to the American economy and our nation's health. As they scramble to make up for this historic mistake, Senate Republicans appear dead set on another bill which doesn't come close to addressing the problems and is headed nowhere. If anyone doubts McConnell's true intent is anything but political, just Look at the bill. The proposal is laden with poison pills Republicans know Democrats would never support. Wow. I mean, each day I report the news to you folks. Each day I analyze the news. I am surprised myself with what's going on. The Democrats' position continues as follows. Instead of helping state and local workers facing layoffs, feeding hungry families, providing adequate funding for testing and treatment to fight the pandemic, helping renters keep the roof over their heads, stopping the dismantling of the US Postal Service, and making sure Americans can cast their ballots safely in fair elections this November, this emaciated bill is only intended to help vulnerable Republican senators by giving them a check-the-box vote to maintain the appearance that they're not held hostage by the extreme right wing that doesn't want to spend a nickel to help people. By the way, in the past, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said, and I quote, Republicans don't give a damn. She has specifically used that language. And she continued, and the Democrats continued in their position. Even Leader McConnell has repeatedly stressed that 20 Republican senators intend to do nothing in the face of this historic crisis. Democrats want to work on bipartisan legislation that will meet the urgent needs of the American people, but Republicans continue to move in the wrong direction. Now, gosh, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear what my community thinks of this gridlock. Remember, there was a bipartisan consensus when the CARES Act was approved back in March, because remember, at that time we were at the start of the pandemic and everyone was in consensus. But now there seems to be a significant amount of division. Speaking of division, you see this tweet on your screen from Jake Sherman, who said, and he essentially summarized the situation. Jake Sherman from Politico. He said, Republicans want a small targeted pandemic relief bill. Democrats want a comprehensive, larger bill. Democrats want $900 billion in state and local aid. Republicans want $150 to $250 billion. Democrats want $400 billion for school aid. Republicans' last offer was $105 billion. Somehow, there are people who think that a stimulus bill is a foregone conclusion. I think that last statement is important because I don't want my viewers and subscribers to have false hope. I don't want you to look at news on the Democrat side, on the Republican side. I don't want you to be taken in by the hype of other channels that say the stimulus bill's coming tomorrow and there's definitely going to be a stimulus, there's definitely going to be a stimulus check. That is indeed not the case at this moment in time. If and when things change, I will present the news to you as quickly as I can. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. Check out my introductory video. I am a beneficiary of American generosity. I believe I'm a symbol of American exceptionalism, and I can help you live your American dream. Make sure you click like, you subscribe, you enable notifications so you get instant updates from our channel going forward. Sometimes YouTube does not send out instant notifications, so make sure you bookmark our channel, youtube.com/ignition time. That's again youtube.com/ignition time, so that you can come to our homepage and you can check out our videos at your own convenience. Now, you can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. We do a lot of fun and interesting things on Instagram, specifically for our Instagram followers. Now, you can also get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you can get added to our SMS list. You can also get added to our email list. Go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. You can opt out of our SMS list or our email list at any time. Remember, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. So make sure you click like, you subscribe, you enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks.